partnerships, such as those that we just discussed, the regular general partnerships, we talked about those yesterday, are often referred to as general. Okay, that's what we talked about yesterday. Our whole lecture was on general partnerships. The limited partnership, in contrast, is a special form of partnership involving two different types of partners. So there are two different types of partners in the limited partnership. There are general partners and there's limited partners, okay? So here's the partnership. This is an LP, limited partnership. We have two different types of partners. We have those general partners that contribute in some way, shape, or form, whether it's money, time, and then we have the limited partners, which are more of the silent partners. They don't want to be known. They're just more of the investors, basically. Okay, more of the investors. They're limited, they're silent, no one knows who they are. They don't put any time into the company, things like that. No, they're silent. They just give their money and then they take their profits, whatever they make. All right, let's learn a little more. So there must be at least one general partner. They have to have at least one general partner, at least. They can have 5 if they want, but they have to have at least one. So we can't have 7 limited partners and no general partners. No, we need them both, okay? General partners, what do? They manage the business, everyone, and have the same rights and liabilities as partners in a general partnership. So all of those rights and liabilities that we talked about yesterday, this applies to the general partners of an LP too. So everything we talked about yesterday applies to them too, okay? Now the limited partner is only an investor in the business, okay? So they're only investing in the business with their money. Like I said, their name is not known. They don't have any rights and liabilities, nothing like that. So they're just investing and taking home their profit. Okay. All right. Investment funds are typically limited partnerships. A limited partnership may be formed, for example, to purchase and develop real estate. Usually why these are formed, you usually want limited partners. Why? Because sometimes we need the income to invest in this real estate. Whether we're buying commercial buildings or we're buying apartments or, homes or a tract of homes, sometimes you have to have more than one person do that because you don't have the income or the investment, the money invested into it, because a lot of companies will ask you, what is your investment, right? And if you're trying to buy a commercial building for $5 million, right? They want you to have, I think, 5 million plus more assets or liquid cash, basically. And since that doesn't happen often, then we get all these limited partners to come in and give some of that 5 million to prove that we have 7 different partners. We have about $10 million altogether. That's how it works. So the limited partners come in, but we also need the general partners. Why? Because the general partners are the ones that are managing everything. The limited partners aren't doing anything but giving their money. General partners are managing. They have all those rights that we talked about yesterday. They have all the liabilities, all of that. So we definitely need general too. They work together to form a limited partnership. Okay. What about oil and gas wells? There's a lot of that. People want to put their money into oil and gas. Once again, we need some investors, right? And then we also need the general people who are going to be watching everything. Intellectual property, people invest in that, or any other assets, okay? The limited partners play a passive role, right? Which means they're secretive. Their funds help to finance the venture. We're going to go buy these apartment complexes, but we're going to be silent. And they receive a share of the profits in return. That's it. That's what they get. That's what they do. Okay. So unlike the general partners who are personally liable for partnership obligations,